All right, let's get started with some Waterdeep Dragon Heist Tuesday D&D. I've got to get an intro vid. I've got to get that created for the stream. All right, gentlemen, we're missing our player Candace. She'll be with us when she can. Medical issues, so probably good and doped up, and probably have some fun with her tonight if we really wanted to tease her. But let's do our introductions, gentlemen, and do a quick recap to remember what's happened and where we left off with the disaster outside the front door of the inn tavern. Folan, say hello to everybody, please.
Hello, everybody. I am Folinio, or called Folin, and I am the third level Wood Elf Druid Circle of.
Shadow.
I am Shadow, the Tabaxi third level rogue scout. Just looking to figure out what to scout out around here.
Linder.
Hi everybody, I'm Lindir Balstina, playing a third level half elf bard.
Quetzal.
I'm Quetzal. I'm playing a third level Lizardfolk Paladin.
And like I said, we're missing Thaniel, our barbarian, raging dwarf. Gotta love her. Who's got a secret admirer in town, and they've got to have their day.
Not so secret.
Not so secret.
Secret.
Could be.
I think it's pretty open.
It is now. Anyway, so let's pick up. Get started here. Sorry, folks. I'm still dragging a little bit. A little scatterbrain from the drugs. But it is what it is. Last week, the group completed. Let's see, what did we do? We got the tavern still going, the inn going, kind of breaking even. You took out the were-rat contingent that was actually trying to. They were stealing things and helping to what you believe causing problems for the inn, based on your other tavern keeper, the other barkeep, Emmett, who was in dire financial straight issues, and he got a petition put together to try to put y'all out of business, and that failed miserably, with y'all flushing out the were-rats and proving to the magistrate that this was all a bad plan on his part to take y'all out of business. And so that was all put to rest, and things were progressing on. The few weeks passed by of business and still breaking even, but actually keeping yourself in the black though, because you did have one profit business with the inn, and that's been going good there. But then as things were just kind of progressing on, a mid-afternoon explosion took place across the street from the inn, and y'all ran out to see what was going on in the mayhem, and it basically what you could tell so far of trying to help the people and kind of getting an assessment of the situation. I think Folan was trying to track and watch what was going on, but really couldn't see anything through the haze and the smoke, and finally as the guard were starting to make their entrance and to take control of the scene, a couple of clues were discovered by y'all looking at the bodies real quick. That there were the individuals that were dead there. There was about a dozen of them, but there was a couple that stood out. Quite makes sense. There was a gnome that was running. Seemed to be being chased by a few other individuals from what it looks like. This gnome had a dagger pulled out and was making his way, actually was coming across the street. Had left right where y'all figured the epicenter of this explosion was, and determining that it was actually a fireball that went off, killed him. and a couple of his pursuers. And the pursuers were, you were able to notice that they had the tattoos of the Zentarum were chasing him. And that was kind of where things were at when, like I said, the rest of the city guard and a sergeant basically began to take control and were moving everybody out and away from the corpses. That is where we held as a good holding point and cliffhanger from the week before. So, were there any questions as far as up to that point to make sure and revisit, or was there anything I left out? Because God knows I may have. So,
Are these city guards that we recognize?
only a couple of them.
Not the
But
sergeant?
not the higher ups. You'll recognize some of the basically the ones that are basically pushing people back and are kind of cordon off. I would say they're going to be taking out, let's just say, so on the map, you're going to have where they are, pushing people back from the intersections, kind of, fortunately, are cutting off part of, your establishment. And they've actually got sounds for this in Sirenscape. Pretty damn cool. I know, that's what I thought. So, but yeah, a few, but not any of the higher ups, because it was, after that, them coming in, you're going to see two individuals that I've got, yeah. I'm walking in behind everybody, and they're pointing to certain sections. They kind of walking it. They're pushing they're pushing the guards to make sure everybody away. And the guards will, a couple of them that will know y'all, but some that don't. Most of them do not know you. They will ask you to, everybody to come back up behind basically these lines in the street, and they're clearing it all out. And you will see these two individuals basically kind of poke and prod, look around, stick their fingers up in the air, wet them, and kind of test things. And the smaller one is really, you can tell, is
Hey, Jeff.
yes.
I want to just walk around the corner and shift into an owl, and then fly back and perch on the side of a building someplace where I can get fairly close inside the investigation area, but out of the way so I'm not really being obvious. And
Okay.
just because the owls have keen eyes and hearing, I want to pay attention, see if I can overhear anything or notice
Okay.
anything else.
Okay.
Before I leave the area, do I notice anything else interesting about any of the dead bodies?
Tell you the blast. So we had a female human. There were the two cloaked human males that you could tell real quickly from the markings that they were Zentarums. There were two that was the first female human, was an elderly woman. Then there were two female humans and one male half elf, kind of dressed in some plain servant clothes. And they cut some baskets and stuff they were carrying that spread all over the street. Then there is the male gnome that was kind of in the middle of the street, angling kind of toward the intersection where y'all are at, with a burned cloak, and he's got a dagger out, and it was kind of clutched, tightly in his hand. And then there are several halflings and their children. That is it for the those who perished. And they the smaller gentleman, Folan, you will hear him call the taller one they talk to each other, and you'll hear him say, Sir Blastwind. He basically calls to the smaller guy. You're hearing that he's got his name as Blastwind of some sort. That seems to be his last name, and he kind of calls out to him a few times, and Blastwind yells out, here, looking at the bodies, and he basically calling out and looking at the bodies and reaffirming what listening to that, what the make and model of them are, all the people are, basically hear all that. And he kind of assesses that, yes, this explosion was definitely of some forceful fireball, but it seems to have emanated from right here in the middle, where he talks epicenter. He's kind of perplexing. I can't seem to understand the casting of it. And he will call over to one of the sergeants, and he will ask him to head out to go get one of the priests from an order to please come here to put a spell on the bodies to kind of preserve them, kind of get them in a state where they can be wrapped up and taken to a local temple so they can be inspected a little bit better there, because he wants to, we need to get the evidence picked up and all, but this, can't keep this all closed up for too long. And he will send him in this Cromley, he keeps calling out, is the taller guy, and they Cromley, he says, get the constables to begin questioning everybody, please. And Cromley goes off, and he will dispatch several groups of the constables and some of the guards, and they will begin to canvass the rest of the houses in this area and the shops, starting on the east side, and they work and knock on doors, and they're questioning, and you don't see, he doesn't see them getting much answers, but then they begin to head toward the tavern, toward y'all, and Cromley and Blastwind follow with them, listening to the questioning, and he is going to, you see the big guy Cromley walk up to y'all's door. Where are the rest of y'all? The owl, since Folan is perched away, what about the other 4 of y'all? Say the dwarf is rushing inside to check things out to make sure nothing's going on, bad, or checking the upstairs floors and all that to make sure there wasn't any damage, things like that.
Well, I figured they would want a statement from us, so I was just kind of waiting there for that.
Well, so they will, so the 2 of them will walk up, and they will motion for you, Linder, to, they're standing kind of right inside the doorway, and they, the constable right out, please come forward. We have some questions for you.
Certainly.
And the taller guy will introduce himself as Saith Cromley, and he says, I am here to escort our member of our great watchful order of Magists and Protectors, Barnabas Blastwind, and he is in charge of the investigation of what has happened here. Can you please answer a few questions, and by starting off by telling us, do you know what happened here? What did you see or hear?
Well, I was inside of this establishment behind us, the now Whispered Spirits, formerly the Troll Skull Manor. I was working in the kitchen. I'm one of the proprietors. All I heard was a loud explosion, and we came rushing out, and there's just a smoking crater and a bunch of people laying all over the place.
Have y'all been here? He doesn't know y'all's background on it, so he's going to be asking, and how long have y'all been here in this establishment and own this property?
It's been about 2 months now, I think.
How well do you know? How well do you know the people living around in this area?
Mostly just acquaintances. We've been into the blacksmiths a few times, but otherwise we're pretty much just barely acquainted with most of these people.
Do you have a solid intestinal fortitude? We'd like for you to. We're asking some of the other individuals who live in this area and run shops to please come look at the bodies here and see if you can identify any of them here. Would you mind doing that for us?
Yeah, I could give it a shot.
Okay. And he will dispatch. Cromley will take you and walk you over and show you each and every one of the, kind of give you a quick grasp, of unfortunately. And he really, they kind of focus in on the gnome. And he goes, have you ever seen this gentleman before?
Should I roll for that?
You haven't seen before.
Okay. No, I've never
So
seen it.
yeah, no, you don't. So you wouldn't know. And he goes, okay. And he, and any of the rest of these, and you won't notice, you don't know any of them, just so you know. Okay.
Yeah.
And he goes, okay. Unfortunate. That is very unfortunate. And he will say, we'll come back and go back up to Barnabas and see what what else he would like for us to do. And Barnabas hears it and goes, okay, I understand. That is a shame. We're going to need more witnesses to see what has happened here before I can make any arrests or determine exactly what's happened. And but I want to make sure I know. He wants to know the other names of the proprietors. So you said you have, other owners here. I would like to make sure I have all their names, please, in case we need
Sure.
to come back and ask more questions. And so he will ask for you to give all the other names. We will be checking, out your ownership papers and making sure everybody says who they are, and
Yep.
or we will come back.
I'm sure
to it.
that's all public record, so I don't have any problem just giving it to them.
Okay, yes, we will confirm all that. Thank you very much. And then they will proceed to.
I marked myself where I'm kind of hiding in the shadows.
That's fine. Yep, and they do the walk around, and then another group, some liveries will come in, and they will begin to pick up the bodies. Luckily there's a good bit of damage. A lot of windows were blown out. And this whole area is from the main block area where the main fireball took place in this kind of cordon off area. Some smoke damage. Luckily there wasn't a lot of fire damage, even with the way the fireball went off. And so the things, the streets, kind of being swept and cleaned up. The bodies are all kind of loaded up, and they're, parted off. And the rest of the patrols kind of move around. They're finishing up their questions, and they say, well, we will, they're kind of chatting with each other, and basically, well, let's get back to,
yeah.
Let's get back to we'll get back to our office, and we can see what else we can determine from, the bodies themselves. And they pick stuff up, and they begin to move on out.
Before they move out, did I hear the mage over? Now, listening to him specifically, did they say anything about what went on? Did they already able to turn?
So, make me a you will hear the mage will, as he was looking over the gnome and what was happening here and where the epicenter was taken off, he says the gnome never saw this coming. From looking at the way the blast took off the back of the gnome, it flung him definitely farther across the street, and his backside, that's where the blast took place behind him. And it looks like but we will keep, he kind of whispers to Cromley, he goes, and from the looks of it, destination was that inn. He was headed toward that building. We will need to keep an eye on things. Basically, he's basically saying the gnome was headed toward y'all's property.
Were there any other witnesses besides?
Don't know.
I mean, I'm right there paying attention. Did they talk to
They
anybody
didn't
else?
talk. Nope. He wrote some stuff down in books, but you didn't hear anything of that sort.
Okay.
Not saying there wasn't. They just didn't. He didn't. They didn't repeat anything for you to hear. What do we do? Is a mystery wrapped in an enigma. Have some crime solving to do, gents.
Again.
So,
So
you guys, I guess, falling and let you know. Yeah, they cart everything up and they are taking it away. Now
I guess I'll head back to the tavern and shift back.
Okay. And
So what do we know about this gnome?
Nothing except that he died, and it seemed like he was coming to our tavern. I heard them oversay that.
who?
I guess if we're having to be detectives, we should go talk to people. Let's go talk to the other people in the neighborhood who we know and see if they happen to have seen it.
Okay. Where would you like to go?
I guess.
Do you have any?
I guess the number 3 place is the closest one. Besides, the other houses, which we don't really. Those
You
have
can
been all
ask.
glossed
You
over.
can no. You can knock on their doors. So
Yeah, knock on doors and ask people if they saw it.
So yeah, the bent nail, that's Fell Branch, the owner. Yeah, y'all can ask him. He was
that number 3.
Yeah, it's number 3. Yeah, that's the bent nail. He wasn't. He was in. He just heard the explosion and he was busy working inside. Yep.
And what was the number 2 one over there?
2 back behind there. That's the Steam and Steel all the way back there. That's where the 2 men, the 2 Genasi, the fire and water Genasi.
I thought they were over number 5. Okay.
Nope.
They saw it.
No, they just felt it rocking and wasn't sure and smelt some smoke, but they have no idea what caused any of that.
Okay. Go over talk to
To where?
the herbalist.
That's the number 1. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. So let's follow. Lefalier, I think is how we say that. Their names just kill me. That's the druid, and she will kind of whisper to you, Folan. She goes, "Yes, that was such a sight. I was watering my plants in the greenhouse up on my 2nd floor of the shop when the blast blew out some of my windows. Luckily, I wasn't injured at all, but the smoke, I could have sworn from my vantage point that I saw a cloaked man take something off the body of that little dead gnome, and he started limping away, and he headed, he looked over his shoulder at least once, and he definitely was burned because he was smoking. And she will tell you that the man ran off this way, and he kept glancing over his shoulder as though he was afraid someone might be following him. And he headed this way and then straight down the alley toward the bent nail.
Okay, that's very helpful. Thank you very much. We'll check.
Hey, you're welcome.
Towards the
Be
bent
careful.
nail?
Yeah. Number 3. What else?
I want to go check that out and see if we can find.
You can walk around, but you don't see anything.
I guess we look around the alleys over there. We don't find a smoking corpse or anything.
No, sir, you do not.
Hmm.
I guess. What about the guy over in 4? Let's go talk to him. Was he
That
like? What is
is
he?
okay. That is the tiger's eye. That is the private eye. And
He's probably a good person.
you will come up to him, and he will tell you. His name is Vincent Trench. Vincent Trench, and he will tell you that I was here deep in my study. I had just finished chatting with a client. Normally I wouldn't, I wouldn't let you know that her name is, he'll give you her name is Jezerine Hornraven. And I believe that she had just left, walked out my front door when the explosion took place. And he says, if you will, don't mind, I will go find her and see if she's all right. And if she saw anything, I will bring her back to you, or we'll bring back what she saw. But
That would be fantastic.
Yes, he says, yes, that is it was a vile scene, and that kind of violence and some type of crime should not go unpunished. And
particularly in our area.
Yeah, and will take a big smoke of this nice long slim pipe he has. He's a very sharp dressed man. You will see. I don't think I would ever show y'all don't. So yes, he will. He said, well, continuing your canvassing, a good detective, a good private eye always ask. There's always plenty of clues. You just have to know where to look. And he says, give me a few hours, and I will come back and I will let you know what I found out. And he will.
Thanks, sir.
Yep. He will cart off, and he will head straight west on out. He's very, very determined, very crisp walker, and he is gone.
Okay, and I guess talk to people on the main street there where it happened. Okay. Is there anybody around still?
There are plenty, yes. And you two that were watching Shadow and Folan, you will, as you're watching this, one thing will keep catching your eye, that was sad, was these halflings, children, that unfortunately, and there is one that is hanging out off the corner area. He's going to be, let me see, say he's going to be on the street corner over here, and he keeps looking back toward where the bodies were at and all that, and it's a little 12-year-old boy, and he's got some tears in his eyes and all that, but he's he looks a little lost, like unsure of himself.
Hey, little buddy, what's going on?
Nothing. I didn't do anything wrong.
Of course not. We're just looking around here trying to figure out what happened with that explosion. We're just wondering if you happen to have seen it.
Make me a persuasion check, please. Por favor. This explosion, it scared me and my friends, and I ran back over here and I ducked behind this rain barrel. And he's gonna point to across the street from where he's standing, and you're gonna see that back over here, back there's a couple of barrels that are sitting on the sidewalk there. They're definitely catching, and they're full of water. And he said, "Yeah, just ran over there and I ducked to try to get out of the way and all that, and then I'm sitting there and all of a sudden I heard this blop, and I found this in the barrel." And he kind of pulls out this necklace, and it looks like this. Can I not? Oh, that's going to identify it for y'all. Oh, that's just wrong.
Can't you just click on the old the lock icon and
Yeah, there's no. It's a picture in there, and the identify. Oh, there it is. Hold on. Bingo. Maybe that'll do it. It was hidden. Here you go. Y'all get. He pulls out this, and there are only 2 beads. There's all these other where the beads should have been. And there's only 2, and it's got a broken clasp on the back of it where it would connect around the neck. And he goes, I thought it was pretty. I was going to keep it for myself because I found it.
You did find it. I will give you 3 gold pieces.
Give me another, you determine the check and roll it for me. You call it.
How about stealth?
Well, I'm talking about. I left myself open for that one. I'm talking
How
about
about these tools?
I can roll a pan flute check.
Yeah,
for you
exactly. I want to know your charisma roll. I want a charisma roll from you, buddy.
Pan flute?
Son of a bitch. Give me an intimidation or persuasion check. Which one are you going to use on the kid, Folan?
How about if I assist Lindy and let him make the check?
Is Linder with you, or is Linder in the kitchen
Yeah,
cooking?
you'd have to go get me.
Okay, I'll do it.
See, like you needed it. Okay. I'll give it to you for the 3 gold pieces.
All right, give him 3 gold.
Okay. He gives you the necklace. Now, you do know that from just laws and stuff like that, that if discovered that you have evidence of a crime and conceal it, hampering justice, that it could be up to a 200 gold piece fine and hard labor for 2 weeks.
I wouldn't dream of that.
Let's see what, and then for those comments that he made earlier on Discord to me, I wonder who's going to get the hard labor, because he called the DM out. Okay. Yeah, dog. Hey, what's going on, buddy? No, the private eye's not at Tabaxi. He's, yep. So you've got this. It was found, in the barrels, this barrel that's across, like if you understood where my arrows are all at, but it was in a barrel. He was hiding behind a barrel.
Would I have a chance of recognizing what this thing?
You can roll me an Arcana check. Fireball.
That is a clue right there.
Yes.
So it's a necklace of spell storing.
No, it's a necklace
No,
of fireball.
it's fireball. The beads are fireballs.
Okay.
You pull them off, you throw them.
Yeah.
Boomie.
So it's kind of like a necklace of spell storing, except finite uses.
One specific spell.
Correct.
And I asked the boy what his name is. Did he
My
tell
name
me
is
what
Mardam, and yes, I'm gonna go. He goes, yeah, I live right. He just points to a house down the street, and we were just. he will tell you that him and his friends were just playing. And
Okay, well, I say, Markham, I'm just to let you know, I'm going to turn this necklace into the constable because I think it is, evidence as to what happened here. So they may want to come and talk.
okay,
So just tell them the truth. Everything that happened. Don't hide anything, and just be aware that they may want to.
Okay. I don't have anybody to play with anymore. You be my friend.
Most certainly,
Oh,
I'm
that's
one of the
depressing.
new owners of the whispered spirits over there. If you ever hungry and need a little bite, come over and see me. I'll give you something to eat.
Okay, I will. Thank you. Skips off down the street and then, then stops, picks some, sees something dirty on the ground, sees a slug. He's a kid, little boy.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Do
jump
we
in a
know
rope.
where the constable would work out of, and this mage?
You can ask and go find out, certainly. Yeah.
First of all, I go back to the tavern and I let the guys know what I found, and then I'm going to go turn it in to the constable and the mage and turn the evidence over.
Should give me one of the
All right.
beads.
So yeah, and y'all, well, this is going on, and I will go ahead and give you the other clue that the private eye, he will, Vincent Trench will come back, and he will come back up to you, and he goes, yes, I happen to be in luck, and visiting with my client, and the issues that she's dealing with, but she did actually, as she was walking out door and was looking that way, was actually going to head that way, and lucky for her, she changed her mind to head back home. But she told me that when she stepped out and looked, she happened to notice, it was a funny way she explained it, it had to be the sunlight, but she said she saw up on the roof up above, and he points to the roof up there above where the fireball went off. She says it looks like a puppet that was shaped like a man, a puppet without strings. I tell you, it was on the rooftop, and I saw it hurl something into the crowd that caused that explosion. And she saw those halflings burned alive, and she is, definitely, going to need some therapy for what she saw as their bodies and the area was blown apart. But she says that she believes she saw this very, she called it a puppet that they use that moves around without the strings, and how it moved, but then it did definitely throw something off the roof.
So was it that building across the street from us?
Yeah, exactly. He points to the roof up above where the fireball went off, and it's that when she the explosion, and she ducked back, and then when she looked back up, she did not see the figure up there again. She lost sight of it after she put her eye looked back up there.
Can I climb up there?
Say what now?
Can I climb up there?
Certainly.
So I ask Trench, I say, what was the name of your client again?
This is Hornraven.
Okay, because I found another piece of evidence that I'm going to take over to the constable and the mage, and I'm going to turn it in. So I'm going to let them know what your client said. So if they want to talk to her, I'm going to direct her.
He'll come to me. I've done some work for them in the past.
Okay, I'll direct him to you.
Yep, not a problem. I'll use some discretion here for my client, but I can give them the interview notes that I took.
Okay, very well. Thank you again for your help.
Good luck.
So
If I
I'll
find
search
out
around up
anything
there.
else, I'll bring it to you. What is that? What do you find up there?
I'm gonna search around up there.
It's just the roof line, and it's got a perfect view of that street area down there, and it's not much but a simple lob to putting two and two together. Picked picked off a stone and just flipped it right up and over and down, and kaboom. It's just other than a roof line, you don't really see anything else, though.
Nothing else seems out of the ordinary.
No, it does not.
I'll go to the back of the building as well. Take a look on the other side.
Yep, just more streets, more. You search for clues and all. I'll let you know you won't find anything. Okay. And you will find out that the dead were taken to the City Watch station in the North Ward, not far from y'all, and there is a cellar, morgue, where the bodies are at.
Okay, is that where they were going to find the constable?
Yes.
Okay, then that's where I want to go. Is anybody coming with?
I'll go with you.
Yeah, why not?
Wetzel, you coming?
I guess I'll come with you.
All right. Okay, so y'all make your way there.
Mosey on over there, and I guess we'll probably get stopped before we get to them. So I'll let them know that we have some evidence about the fireball.
What do you tell them?
Or do they take us to the investigator?
They will take you upstairs, and actually, the tall one, what did I say his name was? Sergeant Cromley will be there, reviewing some notes and doing some paperwork and all that, and he will let you know that the protector Blastwind is off somewhere else at the moment.
Okay, so I'll introduce myself because I didn't actually meet them last time because I was an owl. And I'll let them know, we're the owners of the tavern across the street. And I did some investigating around. I talked to my neighbors, and I found our neighbor Fala, the herbalist, was upstairs at her place in her greenhouse, and she saw one of the people that survived the fireball. She said that he was, smoking. Basically, he was all burned and singed, and she saw him take something from the gnome and flee down one of the alleys. There was our neighbor, the investigator Trench, one of his clients leaving, and she said she saw what looked like a man-shaped puppet without strings on top of the building above where the blast was. And it looked like he threw something that caused the blast.
Wait, say that again. He looked like what?
According to what Trent said, his client told him that she looked like a puppet shaped like a man without strings. I'm assuming it was like a man's size. He didn't really say, but looked like a puppet.
Talking about the automatons that march in the Days of Wonder parade. That's not possible.
I'll take your word for that because I'm not familiar with that parade. But supposedly this automaton threw something which caused the explosion. And then I found a boy, and I give him his name also. Mm-hmm. And when the explosion happened, he ran over beside that same building and hid behind a barrel. And he heard something fall from above that landed in the barrel. And it was this, and a hand in the necklace.
Whoa!
I believe this is a necklace of fireballs.
Oh,
so,
now
your
that
weapon
is some evidence.
There's your weapon and a suspect.
Yeah.
And a survivor which stole something, which is so.
Charisma check.
If this guy stole something from the gnome, that's probably whatever is behind.
Charisma check, please. Can he do it? Oh. Want to use your inspiration for that?
Sure.
Come on, Brian. Oh, Brian, come on. You're failing me.
Oh, come on. you rolled the same
I
exact
used
number.
up all my good rolls early.
You were rolling so well, Brian. Darn it! So now the investigation's foiled. So
Can I assist?
Yeah, you're fine. So
I'll play my loot.
Brian should be nicer to the DM. So Cromley will look at you and he's making some notes and he's shaking his head and he goes,
I said, if you don't believe me, go talk to the other witnesses. I gave you all their names. I told them all that you probably want to speak with them. Feel free to follow.
Oh, we will. You always trust in the watch. But I'm going to have some words with some of the investigators because you've turned up more than those buffoons have turned up. They need to be trained better. I've always said that. But you are correct in that I will honestly bringing us to our attention is the proper thing to do. And you are correct in that there was a third individual that was chasing this gnome by what we could tell. And he was not, from the blast and what you could see, this individual was not among the dead. Now what?
Yeah, I did give that boy 3 gold pieces for that piece of evidence, so I wouldn't mind being reimbursed.
I'll see what I can do. I'll have to file some paperwork.
Fair enough.
Question is yes, and they were, from the shock and the way the bodies were laid out. Yes, that makes sense that this was dropped down onto them because this was definitely unexpected, this blast, and it definitely took them all by surprise, those that it killed, especially whatever these 2 other individuals were doing for chasing the gnome. But that is all we've been able to turn up at the moment. I will have to definitely alert the protector Blastwind for these clues, and we will see while they're still doing some work on the bodies down in the morgue. A gentle repose was cast upon the corpses to preserve them while this investigation is ongoing.
Have you considered bringing in a cleric to speak with Day and find out what these?
We have put a petition together to have a speak with the dead cleric brought in, but have not had any word come back yet. We are waiting on that request.
I don't think we know any clerics, do we?
I don't know.
Well, you know a druid, but I don't get to speak with Dead, and I don't have 3rd level.
Yeah.
You always know you can hire one.
I'm a little strapped for cash right now.
He says, yes, I will file the paperwork. But you have done some quite unique and qualified investigating here, Sir Druid. With what you have pieced together, if a speak with the dead spell was cast, what would you ask them, good elf?
What they were looking for from the gnome, where were they taking it, things like that. I'm not really exactly sure how that spell works. It's not one that I have access.
You have specific questions that you ask to get a specific answer. You can't get generalities.
Yeah, I would definitely specifically ask about what the gnome had that they were after, who the gnome was, why were they chasing him. Obviously, that was probably going to be the same thing, but I'm guessing from the sound of the fact that the one guy survived and took something from the body, what was that item that they were after? Why were they after it? Who wanted it? Those type of questions.
Well, that's what we were thinking too. But that is just, yeah, it's just a strange cacophony of clues to wrapped around because I'm still laughing about the woman thinking that she saw our puppets that marched in the Days of Wonder parade. And you know, anyone that has lived in Waterdeep long enough, the season, which and it's the parade is coming up. It is in the happens in the late fall, and y'all right now are in the throes of autumn in the city in the season. And that is strange that they would think that those, that would be involved. The local temple of Gond, Gond, sponsors the Days of Wonder parade, but they wouldn't have anything to do with this. Sure.
So this Temple of Gond, would they be the ones who have these automatons on hand for the parade?
They create them.
Because I've never seen one of these things, so I was curious what one looked like.
He will draw you basically. I've got a picture of one. It kind of looks like it's like a puppet.
Interesting. Is that sword fused into the arm?
It could be carrying one, but basically they're like you know what you've seen they do it over in Spain or some of those big parades, and the guys they've got big puppets that they put on strings and they move them, they walk in the street and all that, and these things are he'll tell you that these are kind of a little bit bigger than a normal human size, but they're part of this big festivity, kind of like Rio parade. Rio de Janeiro. What's the big parade down there? Oh my God, I'm having a brain fart. Someone help me out. No one's going to help me out here. Boy.
No idea.
Anyway, yeah. So, but it's things like that. Even if it's like a New Orleans parade, the all the ongoing, just no beads and boobs though. Okay. So, but that this temple is the sponsor, and they have these automatons that move around and interact with the crowd and perform little shows, things like that.
Do you know where they store them for the rest of the year?
Well, you would have to visit the temple. He will tell you that the House of Inspired Hands is the name of the Waterdeep Temple of Gond. Now, I have no idea who the hell Gond is. Someone find that for me quickly.
He is a god of engineering.
Like creation and
makes sense.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, I think a lot of gnomes and things like that worship.
Yes.
Interesting.
I think he's also known as like
gnomes
Wondermaker
tend
or
to
something.
worship God.
And he says, well, I appreciate you have done well. I will get this paper rush through. We know where to find you at the Whispered, what are y'all calling it again?
Whispered Spirits.
Whispered Spirits, yes. We shall, if anything else is needed, I know where to find you.
All right. I guess that's that then. I don't think we need anything else.
Should we go to this?
Go to what?
Don't know.
Temple of Gond.
Oh, yeah.
Temple of Gone. Now, let's see if I was supposedly supposed to fix up all his pins. North Ward. There it is. That's in the C ward. Didn't we? Wait a second. Hold on. Get back here. House of Inspired Hand, Waterdeep, Temple of Gone. Oh, it's in the C ward. I apologize. I told y'all the North ward. I was wrong on that. Oh, no, the woman's house. Okay, so he will. We got some new maps because this guy fixed his add-on. Y'all can put pins on your maps and all that. We'll start using these and go back through some other time. But I got this module has got a gazillion pins on all the maps for all different sorts. And I'm telling you, he's got buildings, city buildings, fest halls, guild halls, inns, noble houses, residence sewers, shops, and I mean tons of stuff. It's an awesome.
Players don't get to use the pins. They don't use.
Are you serious? Y'all can't.
Yeah, no pins for us.
Damn, I thought y'all could. All right, well, you will find out that you need to go over to the far west of the map off of Shark Street and Sea Watch Street. And that is where you will know to find the House of the Inspired Hand, if you so want to journey there.
Indeed, we do.
All right.
Indubitably.
Y'all may make your way toward that. We'll find out the next day. So we will, all this, doing your investigations and all that. Another day will pass. And y'all begin to make your way and checking it out. And it looks like a cross between a temple and a workshop. The symbol of Gond, a toothed cog with 4 spokes, is displayed prominently on the front of the building. You see, as you're watching all that, you will then see a silhouette of a humanoid shape perching on the rooftop of this establishment. It extends an arm as y'all are watching, and you will see something fly up in the air like a little bird floating around, and it does some loops around him between his legs, and then all of a sudden you see it go whoop, and it comes straight for y'all. Y'all may roll me initiatives, please. This thing comes at y'all like a missile. I'm going to say Thaniel is getting ready for his date, and he is not busy trying to clean up the place because he is worried about his bottom wine cellar and the mystique and all the bad vibes that have happened down there. He's trying to wash them away. Well, this thing moves directly toward y'all, and you hear like a hummingbird on PCP. Coming right at y'all. What do? Quetzal? You gonna do anything? Got one round before it. Yeah, it has a 10. Oh boy, Shadow just barely beat it. What would you like to do? It is 60 feet away and moving fast.
I'll just put my trident in front of me and hold it with both hands.
Gonna try to skewer a sparrow? You're vicious, Quetzal. Vicious. All right, Folin.
I will take the dodge action.
Okay. Linder.
Let's see here.
Incoming.
Yeah. Let's see if I can mage hand it.
Mage hand. comes out. What's your distance on Mage Hand? I can't remember.
30 feet.
Okay, well, it's 60 feet
I'll
in
have to
closing, and it looks like, yeah, it's fast. So it's going to be in front of you on its turn.
Yep.
You want to try to? Are you going to try to handball it?
Intercept.
Yeah.
Try to intercept.
Okay. And Shadow, what about you?
I will pull out my hand crossbow, move away from the group, and I will ready a shot if it attacks.
All right. So, your mage hand, spirit hand, you can't attack though.
It's not trying to attack. It's trying to
Hey.
catch.
Trying to grapple.
Yeah.
Not attack.
So it's got an AC. You're gonna need to roll me a. But whose stat would you use? Do me a dex. I want a dex save at disadvantage, please.
I don't like that.
I know you don't. But
That's
gonna get
rude.
it. I know. Because this thing's quick. But I'm giving you a shot at it. And you whiff. You whiff as it shoots right by and it hurls itself at the four of you. And we'll just roll a D4 here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Just like we are on the combat tracker. And it comes right for Quetzal. Quetzal, the thing just zips right at you. And flies. You catch it as it's moving towards you. It pings your pitchfork, your trident, and burst into a bunch of metal parts. It explodes. Just goes plag, and it, you hear ting, and wings and springs and legs all just kind of fall apart, and y'all look up to where the creature was at, and it is not on the rooftop anymore.
And it was on the roof of the.
It was on the roof of the temple. Yes.
All right, I think we should mosey on.
And there's people coming in and out and moving around you, and the temple is clearly open. I will let you know.
I want to gather a handful of the pieces of the.
Okay.
And head inside.
Y'all walk inside, and you will. There are people moving about. You see some acolytes. You can step in. You see.
I'm gonna drop a guidance on Linder and let him.
Okay. You will see that you'll walk in. That a few people walk past you, but you've got a huge hallway before you, and then you can see what looks like a reception desk, kind of like in the waiting area where the office is and where most of the higher ups would be. And y'all walk through this grand hall, and there's about 24 marble pedestals that line this, and you can see they're like displays, and there's like one that's a 4 foot tall of a clock tower that rings at the top of every hour, and it's made of wood. It's all these different materials made up of it, and then it's got these hands that are, solid gold, basically. And y'all kind of stop and look, and they're prize-winning inventions and models of extraordinary creation, and that's what this temple's all about. They make things, and there's a wooden flying machine that looks like it can flap its wings to maybe become airborne. It's very strange. There's a mechanical dragon turtle with a brass plate affixed to the pedestal that reads, "Big Belchy sang in the Deepwater Harbor on the Days of Wonder back in 1363. There's some helmets with some articulating arms and hands that it's called the waking helmet. And if you fall asleep, the hands slap you in the face. to wake you up.
Oh my gosh.
And then there's a miniature model of a red submarine that looks like a manta ray and has a brass plate affixed to it that reads the Scarlet Marpineth. Lantanese submersible. So don't ask. So bunch of just eye-goggling stuff as y'all walk through. And y'all walk through that, and you're looking at it all, and you will come up and you will see the table, the reception area, a little desk, and there is a dragonborn, bronze dragonborn priest. Whoa, hey! What do we got here? Yo, Joe, thanks, man. Appreciate the tip again. So you've got somebody to give some info to there, Mr. Joe, if you want to.
Quick question for you, Duff. So the figure we saw on the rooftop, did you describe that figure?
It looked like all you could basically see, it was a skinny, lanky, humanoid figure. That's about all you could tell. Let me make sure. Sitting on the rooftop is a silhouette of a humanoid shape perching, its arms extended out. And as you were watching it, opened up its hand, and this contraption, this metal, what was looked like a bird first, and then it's metal. It came out of its hand, did some loops around him right through his leg, and then just went right toward y'all.
Great.
I can give info to the party. Do you mean? Yeah, you can give. Yeah, exactly. For you do that if you want to give them a healing potion, because they don't need a short rest right now. But if you want to give someone a greater healing potion, you may do that, Joe. It is up to you. I don't know who you gave one last time. I think it was Shadow. That one.
I have received one from someone. It might have been him.
Yeah, it was Joe from last time he tipped. So up
Thanks,
to you.
Joe.
Folan, Linder, or Quetzal are with us. Joe. Okay. So back to this. Yes. This female dragonborn will stand up, and she will, welcome to the great temple of Gond. What brings wanderers such as yourself to us? I will let Folan decide if he wants a free short rest or greater healing potion. Folan, you have a choice.
I guess I'll just take the potion.
Yeah. Would you please put one in your inventory, or just it's 44 plus 4? I think it's the coding on that. Just give yourself an item. Yeah. Just make yourself grab another potion of healing, and then rename it. Sir. Thanks, Joe. We'll see you Friday night. Yes. So she asked, what brings travelers such as yourself to our temple?
Well, first of all, we were just attacked by a mechanical bird outside. Not sure what that's about.
What? What do you mean?
I asked. So
I show her the pieces.
Show me what it is.
I show her the pieces that I picked up from this.
Damn it, Nim. Come with me. We'll open up a little rope area off and wait for the four of y'all to come in. Follow me, please. We will get to the bottom of this. Damn it, he's been at it again. And she will lead you around a few hallways, and then there is a spiral staircase that's kind of off, back away from the main walking areas and all that, and she will follow it, she will say, come with me, and she will go up it, and it's, a couple stories up, and she will then come up to a little landing area, and there's, let's say it's like a 10 by 10 little area for y'all, kind of cramped, and there is a door there. And she will walk up to it and go, what is the meaning of this? And she looks, and there is a lock on the door. I've never seen, who put this here? Damn it. Now, and she bangs on the door. Nim, what is the meaning of this? Open this door. And there's silence.
I cast guidance on Shadow.
I go over and take a look at this door with lock.
You may. It is quite a complex and very ingenious lock. A little bit different from your normal ones that you have run into, Shadow. I will tell you that. And that makes sense being in the building that you are at. But you believe that you might have a chance with it with some thieves' tools. But you will need to roll that for me, please. With guidance.
Do you want in the tower or
No,
not?
you're fine. No, you're fine. Was Eric watching tonight? Because if Eric was here, no, darn it, we don't have him. Well, you didn't need. There you go. See, yeah. So this, you work on it for a little while, and she's about to call it, and then you hear a click in the lock.
That's
Comes
what
away,
I do.
and she goes, it's quite odd to see someone break one of Nim's contraptions. And she says, step back. Thank you. One moment. I need to take it from here. And she will pull the lock off and go all of that. And she will go, Nim, now, what is the problem here? What is going on? Why did you put the lock here? And it's kind of, there's just silence. And you kind of look over and you see what looks like a typical attic type setup. But there, and it's, definitely dusty and there's cobwebs, but you see several tables lining the room, and there are contraptions and tools and pieces of things just all over the place. And you will wait, and she goes, Nim, I mean it. Come out here and tell me what's the meaning of this. This is your work. No one else knows how to make these things fly yet. So come here. And I'm going to count to 3 and we will revoke your privileges. And you'll all of a sudden you hear some stuff kind of move around, and it was right in front of you and standing up against the wall. But this automaton will step out, and kind of sheepishly move toward y'all, and stop and kind of look to the priest. And she has introduced herself. Her name is Valletta, and she will, now this is your stuff, is it not, Nim? And he kind of nods his head, but he makes, who's our thief in the group? Shadow, is that you? So you don't recognize the language, but he's basically kind of using, some hand signals and that are forming words. And he kind of moves his hands around to his face and to his body, and he whips, and she goes, but that's not what I asked. I said, did you make this? And did you turn it on these gentlemen? And he kind of shakes his head, yes. And he's not talking at all. And she goes, well, we warned you about doing that, Nim, and you're going to have some of your tools and inventions taken away for a while. And you see him, stomp his feet, and, like a teenage little kid, that's unfair, basically what he's acting like. She goes, so then as she turns to, I truly apologize for his actions. But he sometimes gets ahead of himself. This all kind of, taking y'all back by surprise, but this, saw this exchange, and this creature is just kind of standing there, and there's, almost nothing, and, antagonist. I mean, this is, it's a creature. It's a construct. You can tell.
So this is still the same day as the fireball.
Oh no, you've had a couple of days now.
Okay, yeah. So Nim, is it? You were happened to be up in the North Ward a couple of days ago.
He shakes his head,
So I turn to the priest and I say, well, the reason we came down here is that a couple of days ago in the street outside of our tavern, there was a fireball. and several people were killed in the explosion. And there was a witness who saw what she described as a puppet, a man-shaped puppet with no strings, and it was suggested it might be an automaton that kind of looks like Nim here, and so we came down here to inquire with the temple if you guys knew anything about any automatons running around the city.
Oh, really? And she turns to look at Nim, and y'all notice that Nim's eyes are wide open, and if the thing could shake in fear, or it has this look, even though it is a construct that, it is not happy what it's hearing, and Valletta is just fuming at Nim right now, and he starts throwing his hands up in the air, making all these signs, and she's like, slow down. What do you mean you crazy? What do you mean it disappeared? And she's like, stop, slow down, Nim, stop it, and she goes, come in. Well, hold on, Nim, we're coming inside, and you're just gonna have to deal with this. And Nim, he kind of stomps his feet up, and she said, I will take it away for longer if you don't calm down and slow down and tell me what you've done, Nim. And so he backs up, and she motions for y'all to come into the room, and she says, just hold that, and she shuts the door. She says, I want to make sure that we understand what's going on here, and it's not reported higher up, because he could be in some serious trouble here, Nim. And the letter goes, so slow down and start at the beginning, Nim. What have you done? And she listens to him, and she goes, okay, and how long ago was this? Well, I know you're lonely. I'm sorry, but you know what the reason is. You're supposed to do stuff here, and you promised that you wouldn't do that. Nim, I'm truly disappointed in you. That is just uncalled for. And so she chats a little bit more, and then she turns and goes, well, that's what it sounds like. He's a very gifted, one of a kind that has, as you can tell, has his own compunction sometimes as a young one, and hasn't quite learned. But he has asked for playmates. But most of the time, the automatons that we call these creatures nimble-wights, what they're called, and they're not uncommon in their creations, but they are rare. And he basically reveals to her that he created one about a month ago for himself to have a friend, and it got confused and fled one night because it wasn't under the right guidance and watchfulness, and Nim hasn't seen it since. But it is apparently his creation, and he's in a lot of trouble now, because that is just not allowed, that all automatons have to be managed by a creator. And and she will tell you the only reason that he couldn't go and find it is that he is unable to leave the grounds. So I know it was not him. He is unable to leave the grounds of the temple. He would cease to function if he stepped over.
Oh.
Yes, if he stepped off the grounds. Yes. And, as you can tell, there's just, all these contraptions, and you can see he's been busy making things, and he helps out a great deal with the parade. And we let him, indulge himself in creations and making little things that are not supposed to attack people, Nim. That is a rule, and you know that. And he kind of, if he could huff, he could, and he goes over to the table.
There was no harm.
But it sounds like, but the question is if this Nimblewright is a part of what you said, an attacking of a human creature,
that one was certain.
That
I was
forbidden.
Talking about the bird, which there's no harm done by the bird. But yes,
I appreciate it. But
Nimblewright in the ceiling that was on the roof definitely.
That's a whole nother issue. And so she says, knowing this, that is going to be an issue for us. And I shut the door, and I apologize. I didn't mean to alarm you, because you seem to be, and forgiving Nim for his discretions here, that if you might be able to handle this with a little tact and guile, if you don't, as you would say, as far as not reporting it to anybody else, if you don't mind, we might be able to way to solve this or help you in your search for this nimble right if you promise not to say anything to anybody else. And I probably can find 500 gold maybe to pay you for your time and your discretion.
Man, we are the epitome of discretion.
So she says, yes, so you will need to find this wayward nimble right and destroy it. And you can, if you will please bring back the proof, then I promise to have the reward for you. And we might even be able to sweeten it up if it is done in a, timely manner, shall we say? And
if in order to do it in a timely manner, we will need some way, at least some kind of direction on where it went or a way of finding it or something like that. Do you have anything like that?
So she looks to Nim and she says, well, you heard them, Nim. What do you think? And he, he kind of shrugs and turns his back, and she goes, I don't think so, young man. Where is it? Is it fixed? You know what I'm talking about, Nim. Now, where is it? And he's turned his back to all of y'all, like he was looking out of a window, but he's just kind of staring at the roof line, and he kind of reaches back and he points a finger over to a corner across the way. And there's a big pile of just stuff. But she goes, oh, okay, I see what it is. And she points to, let's say, Quetzal, you're over there standing. She goes, see that umbrella looking thing right there? Grab that, would you? It's like that copper contraption. Would you pull that out of that junk pile, please? And Quetzal, okay. You'll reach over there, and it's about a foot long looking device. And
does Quetzal know what an umbrella is?
It's got a little umbrella. He says copper looking thing here. And there's only one thing. You kind of see it's kind of covered, and there's some other pieces, but you will see that it looks like, put it on, weird looking contraption. And
that is odd.
It is odd looking. And you, Linder, make me an Arcana check.
Can do.
Linder, you didn't make that class. Are you going to use your inspiration?
For an Arcana check? Oof. I suppose.
Oh, just barely. You were asleep in that class. Well, you will detect that there is something magical about it. You can see an aura.
Oh, you don't say.
You don't say. Hey, I'm just getting you to roll, okay? And Nim, he'll start making some gestures to Velada, and she goes, yes, so this is what we call the nimble right detector. And it is basically just what it says it is. And Nim built this to, apparently he did build it because he was going to figure out some way to use it to find the errant nimble right, to seek it out, even though he knows he can't leave the compound. And apparently that you have to hold down the trigger on this thing, and what will happen is that the umbrella will begin to spin and whir, and click, 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 and all these noises will make these things. You will begin to create a field, and it will zoom out in this velocity, and it just, as the faster and faster it spins, this you'll see a sphere, just faint magical sphere, will zoom out, and it has apparently it has a distance of about 500 feet, and when it comes in contact with another Nimblewhite, it will let you know by the clicking and the whirring noises and beeping that it will finally come in, beep, 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 beep. And it will then, the beeping noise will grow stronger until you can, within apparently 30 feet of said creature. And it will only attune to Nimblewhites, other automatons like itself, like him.
Interesting.
So this is probably the best way that you're going to be able to
Makes sense.
find the creature. It is yours to use, and please bring back with the construct's head. Or maybe mechanical heart. But we will need proof. Once you do one of those, the creature will be destroyed.
Certainly.
It'll then settle up. And you, young man, you are grounded. And she will walk to the door. I will deal with you once I see our guest out, Nim. And you will not interfere with the acolytes when they come and get your work tools. I'm telling you. And he, huffs off and throws something against the wall. And she goes, that's another week. Want to? And she will open up the door and motion for y'all to head on out and back down the stairs. Thanks you for your time. And yes, y'all spent a good bit of another day. So it is time to head back and plan what you're going to do with your Nimblewhite detector.
This could take some time.
Don't you just love it? Waterdeep's such a sprawling metropolis.
It's a tiny little town. This will make it easy.
The question is, so y'all, that is your task before you now, is to find the Nimblewhite. And the question is how are you going to tackle said?
Honestly, last time we saw it, or I guess we didn't actually see it, last time it was seen was up by our place. So I think we should go up there and search out for.
Fair enough.
Seems like a good starting spot.
Man.
Okay, let me consult El Mapos. Y'all will head back over there. Were you going to do it in the nighttime, or are you going to wait till the next day?
Good question.
Anything else that you want to do, or because you have no idea.
Most of us can do it at night. Quetzal will have to sleep, and then he can do it during the day.
Yep. So that this search, depending on a ward by ward search, unless you can think of other ways to speed up the search. But you kind of know that it's, it comes from the, so you're in the C ward where it was created, and now it's been over to some reason over by y'all, and you could fire the thing off, just kind of a testing it and all that, and it's like like it's a contraption from Willy Wonka's factory. You know, and it just makes all these noise, and the umbrella is spinning, and you know, but you don't get a reading on anything.
Huh. Tennille's lady friend is familiar with building stuff like this, constructs and whatnot. I wonder if she'd have any insight.
Yeah, that might not be a bad idea.
I don't want to interrupt their date.
They're all, yes, they are out and about right now. They will not be found. Apparently, she came and got him, and they are not about at the moment.
We'll have to wait for them to come back.
Yes. They're indisposed somewhere.
Yeah. Sure they'll be back later on tonight.
I wouldn't count on it.
Well, when I say later on tonight, it could truly be the next morning.
Boom, chicka, wow, wow. New novels are being written on the
Are you
day.
expecting to see Tennille walking down the alley and performing the walk of shame?
He's got a spring in his step. He's a whistling dwarf.
Or the strut.
The walk of shame is wearing the same clothes as yesterday.
Yeah. Well, they're maybe a little ripped. You know, his beard may
Some
look
pop
a little tag, maybe pulled a little off a little. There's, you know,
there might be something in it.
he looks a little, you know, you don't know, but it's a possibility. Let's just say it's a high possibility when Candace rejoins us that she's going to have to endure a little teasing again. Boy, do we like to give it to Candace. We like to tease her. So, we don't know why. Because everyone else teases me, so I got to pick on somebody, you know. So, it is what it is. But the question before y'all, so y'all make it back and checking in, and nothing much else has happened around town when y'all are gone. Vincent will come by to visit that night, and he did a little bit more searching around. He's trying, you know, he's a private eye, like you said, you know, he is very good at his job. He will let you know, and he is in a lovely orange suit tonight, and it's orange and it's very colorful. And he's got some very aromatic pipe weed that he is smoking, and he, you know, he asked for some of your best wine. He would like a very dark, deep red wine. Oh, boy, Babunski in for the raid. Chuckle Love, who I will be seeing in a week at Gary Con. We're going to be running multiple games there for our lovely participants there, and a few online. We're going to be doing a little mishmash of both, plus running Joe's. We're going to be running Joe's session and maybe Satine's. We don't know yet. She's apparently bringing her own Chicago, but we may be helping out there. It'll be interesting to meet these individuals, especially Joe, because he's a Steeler fan himself too. You know, big Steeler man. So, but Babunski, you better watch next Monday, because your devil is going to finish up in Deadlands, and I've already put the token of you, devil, play for next Monday night. But thank you for the raid, buddy. Hope everything's going well. We're in the middle of Waterdeep Heist. Praetor Heist, not Dragon Heist, but Praetor Heist. Praetors are coins too, you know, on this channel. But he basically, back to the show. Vincent will come in and he will confirm that he is, they have a priest that he has found out that is going to be questioning tomorrow the dead. Trying to
very good, and I'll fill him in also on what we learned from the
Interesting. Yeah. Well, uh, so you say that. Well, what do you tell them? Let me ask you that. So, what do you tell them that you have found out?
That the thing that was seen by his client is apparently called a nimblewright, which was a type of automaton was
Mm-hmm.
constructed by
Mm-hmm.
this other one in the temple, and that it's gone rogue. And we was given a device that will help us locate it.
Really? And where are you going to use this device then? How do you plan on canvassing? I would start where where the creature was created. It's sooner or later is going to have to get lonely, don't you think? Maybe want to go home?
I'm sorry, Duff. My little girl is in here talking to me, and I missed that.
He basically says, well, I would probably search around where it was created. Don't you think it might be lonely and want to go home?
That is
That's
also a
just me,
possibility.
however. But Waterdeep is a big place. It's going to take you some time, no doubt. Unless you think you could get up above the city. Canvas at a much.
I don't know a way to do that except by, going across the streets. But it has a range enough that we should be able to walk the streets well enough. It's not like we can.
Shame we don't know somebody in the Griffin Corps that could fly above the city. Well, that's my thought. But if there was only a way to figure out how to get in there when they wake the dead to possibly listen in on the conversation. I don't have those kind of powers, but you never know. But it's going to be tomorrow at 10 in the morning, from my understanding. He says, not bad wine at all. And he says, if I hear
All
of
right,
anything
I got a
else, I
screaming
will
baby, so I'm gonna have to be back in a few.
go take care. Yeah, if you need to take care of it, you go right ahead. But he says says, very good wine. That is all that I have found out so far. But anything else comes across my desk, I'll be sure to let you know. Not bad wine at all. He will pay the wine, put the bill, and a nice little tip, bartender, and he will excuse himself and chasse out the door, on out to the street. What do we do, group?
Makes you wonder what groups around here might have any political power in this city.
Well, the factions are all the factions are represented here. We just haven't really pursued any of them, but you can definitely ask. I haven't gone that route with the factions a lot, but there's a whole chapter about them in this book. So, I've given y'all some of the clues and some of the stuff, just basically, as add-ons instead of having to go through all that meandering. I was trying to focus more on the inn and the tavern, and then y'all have some fun with that than getting into all the politics. But you can ask some of the stuff, and if you hit the right questions and like that, I will play along with it as though.
Shadow only really knows one that he'd be interested in.
And you can ask off camera too. You can pursue stuff. If any of y'all want to do some of that stuff on your own, quite all right too. But you have this task before you, a nimble white detector, and you think your task before you, finding the nimble right, and other than that, the only newest information on the table is the priest is coming in tomorrow at 10 a.m.
And did you say something about a Griffin Riders Guild or something?
Well, they're the city guard, and there are is it the City Watch? Let me see. Let me go back to Fireball. 1 second, I will tell y'all, because boom goes off, and guard come in.
Well, we have an in with the city guard, so I think we should ask our local buddies about the Griffin Riders, and see if anybody can point us in the right direction to figure out a way we can borrow or hire a Griffin.
Yeah, okay, there it is. So they're the Griffin Cavalry Riders are a appendix. Let me got an appendix to go to now.
Yeah, as a druid, I definitely have some interest in. But I will be back in a couple minutes.
Go take care of your kid. Let me find out where my appendix is at. No. Yeah. Sometimes there is it's basically the City Watch, the airborne, the Air Force of the City Watch, and they mount the Griffins and they can fly above. And there was one that was on patrol, or very quickly after the explosion, was flying around overhead. So what are we finding? The Order of the Gauntlet. Let me see. Character or Lord's Alliance. Okay. So it looks like either one of them you will know have ties in or abilities to use the Griffin Patrol. So, what do y'all think y'all should do? Don't talk all at once now. Here, Quetzal.
Shadow's
Shadow.
a dark brooding character, so
Quetzal, you're quiet. Quetzal's in charge.
Quetzal's in charge.
Doesn't speak much. Fall asleep, Quetzal?
No, I don't really know what to do.
Well, what do you think your options are? How would you tackle this? You've got a large city before you. This does give off a 500-foot radius, but it is, on foot. You're going to take some time. You can begin searching out from y'all's area, or searching out from its home area in the Sea Ward. You've got from Vincent that it would be better probably to get up high to be able to scan at a better rate, at a faster time frame.
Did we find a Griffin?
Yeah. So what is it's called the Griffin Cavalry Riding Corps, basically the Air Force of the City Watch, and you have to know someone of the Lord's Alliance or of the Order of Gauntlet. They have ties.
Good. I have some interest in the Order of the Gauntlet, so I'm okay going to try to.
Well, you will ask around, and you will some of your City Watch friends that come to the tavern for a stiff drink when they're off will let you know on the Order of the Gauntlet there is a Savra Bellabrantra that is a member who possibly would be the right person to talk to.
That's quite a name.
Savra Bellabrantra. Bronta. Oh man, I tell you what, they've got to have something. Yeah, it's a name generator that just is as many vowels and consonants together. Man, tongue twisters are what they are. But you, and yeah, so they will be more than, if you want to speak with Savra, they will go find her and bring her to the tavern.
Cool.
Actually, so I had a brain fart there. It's not the Order of the Gauntlet I'm interested in. It's the Emerald Enclave that I want. I'm happy. But we
Oh,
can still talk to this lady about the Griffins.
yeah,
Maybe
yeah,
she
but
can-
yeah, the Enclave's not involved. Yeah, so the Lord's Alliance, or what you're being told, would be a way to try to get in. They might have, that would be probably, there's a Jalastra Silvermane who's part of the Lord's Alliance. Those are the two names that your friends from the Watch will come up with, saying, but if you know, we could find Savra or bring Jalester in and buy him a
Whichever
drink and
one
see
is
what
willing
you
to
can
come
do with
talk
him.
to us. Or
Yeah.
or if you can point us to them, we'll go talk.
Oh, it would be better probably to do it this way, because you have to be a member of, and be invited in to faction. So they say there's probably, meet her and see what you think.
Sure.
Okay. So they will venture off, and so we will get to the next day. And they will set it. Yeah, they will have to get her, and they will bring her the next night. So what you've got, so you know that this morning is going to be the cleric is going to be in, and they will try to get Savra to the inn tonight. So you've got the day
So,
before.
Quetzal, do you have any interest in joining the Order of the
I think maybe a little bit.
That's the type of thing that a type of group that likes to have paladins and join them.
Order of the Gauntlet. Yep. We'll have, yeah, they look for members who seek to fight evil in all forms. They will yeah, so they will tell you, human knight she is, Savra is, and just sit tight, and we will see how we can coax her over a drink maybe, and to come to the tavern. They said that yesterday, so they'll bring her tonight. So y'all will wait patiently. But while that's going on, anything else y'all want to do or work out? I don't, just
Yeah, I'll work out.
gonna work. Gonna... Well, we still haven't seen the dwarf. Gosh, no, man. This is one serious date.
It may last all week.
We don't know. Neil is apparently, I don't know. I won't speak for Neil. We'll have to have Neil speak for himself when Candace
is
is
either
back.
very good or very bad.
So he may need a lot of rest.
Daniel's now been kidnapped, and we have to go search and find him.
Well, I don't want to interrupt his little, love.
Yeah. It'll be 2 years down the road. They'll still be saying the same things. I don't want to interrupt their date.
That is some date.
I imagine that eventually he'll come back, assuming Candace.
Okay.
So if we're not going to be, definitely won't be seeing this person until the next day, then I wouldn't mind taking a stroll around the North Ward with this.
Okay. Yeah, so it's going to be the next day, and you get up and you will proceed. You can kind of walk around. Second. You once you get a pop and then you can't seem to hone in on it anymore, and you are going to, it's going to be, so let me show y'all, let me go back over to, hopefully this doesn't, let me show y'all, you guys are here, let me, where y'all at? This is y'all's home area, let me, to let you know where the square's at in the North Ward. Okay. And you're going to get a pop ever so briefly just off the high road to the northwest. And then you kind of hone in a little bit and move around and you lose it.
All right, I'll just start spiraling out from.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You're going to try to track it down a little bit and you lose it. You can't seem to you can't seem to get a blip again.
All right, well then head back to the tavern and say I found something briefly and then lost it. But
Yep.
So maybe it's in the air.
Could be. Could be. All right. Savra, we will get to the evening, and you've got a nice crowd in there, and sure enough, a very apt looking, very chiseled female knight will come in with a few of the guards, and they will get a table, and order some food and a few drinks, and she will call out to y'all, whoever serves them, that yes, they've ranted and raved about this place, and we would like your best, some good food and some good ale.
Most certainly.
Do we suspect this is the person we're waiting for?
Yeah, it's Savra. Yeah. Yep.
They're the best. Well, whatever we have.
Boom. So they begin to have some food, and they chat for a while, and it's just casual, small talk and all that. And they, who's going to engage her? Chat.
Me.
What do you do?
She's the one with the inn with the Griffin Riders, right?
Very much so.
Okay. So those two are still sitting with her?
Yep.
Okay.
Just out of curiosity, you said it was 2 nights who was sitting with her?
No, two of the city, some of y'all's regulars know her. And they basically, and she basically comes in and she says out to y'all that, they keep ranting and raving that I needed to come check out the place. And it's been, on everybody's, from the guards' standpoint that y'all, know how to take care of the city watch. So fine. I took some time off and I've come to check out what they say is true. And she says, let's in a very noble way, let's see what if the money's where the mouth's at type deal, and y'all bring out some good food and some good ale, and they are definitely relaxing. You've got the vibe is right in tonight. Whoever's playing doesn't seem to be missing a note. The cards and the stars are all in alignment. Don't ruin it. And Linder engages her, or is it Quetzal?
It's me. I'm gonna sit down with them and just start chit-chatting with our 2 regulars to kind of break the ice, so it doesn't seem like I came over just for whatever.
they chat about, and you kind of go into some details, maybe some back history, and then the conversation will turn toward the fireball.
Yeah.
Dirty business that is.
Yeah, for sure.
You're lucky it didn't explode
Real
outside
unfortunate.
y'all's and do more damage to your place. This place has got something a little something to it, does it not?
I'd agree. Well, so I understand you're with the Griffin Riding Corps.
That is
That's
correct.
interesting.
Yes, it's a great challenge to train on a griffin and get the wind beneath you, being able to view heights. It's a lovely time if you befriend one of them, but it is a tough business to befriend one. I will tell you that.
Yeah.
Have the bruises to prove it.
Well, it just so happens I've been looking to get a little bit of an eye in the sky. I think there's
What do you mean?
any way we could work that out. Well, if maybe I could get into the air with you. We're looking for something.
You're going to...
So just out of curiosity, how much details have you had in the way of what actually happened?
Very little. That is the
So,
city watchguard. I was not on duty. I know, there was probably a rider that was dispatched to the area, but at the time, I don't know too many of the details at all. No.
Let's give her a rundown on everything that we know was happening.
Okay. That is quite the tale you weave there. And how do you think
Now, Leonard, now go ask her.
Griffin can help? What is it you
we're
plan to do?
We're looking for the perpetrator.
Okay. Go on.
We have a means of detecting them from a distance,
So you say.
but it's not a very great distance. And we don't have too much of a lead on where to look. So it would be far faster if we were able to get into the sky.
I would agree. I would agree a great deal, and I could see how you would think that a Griffin would be apropos on that. Let me think about this. And I'm thinking, and you will see her she taps her glass. I'm thinking hard.
Give her a refill.
I think better when I'm not so parched.
And offer her some dessert.
Oh, the elf is
I'll
dessert?
offer her dessert,
Oh,
all right.
well, now we might have a deal to strike. Love seems to be in the air around here lately.
Is this the part where I roll a seduction check?
You can. Uh-oh. Linder's
What
gonna
is
go
that?
for
Is
it.
that Oh, me, I'm being a bard. How dare I?
Roll me a persuasion check with advantage, please. Yeah, I knew the Skittles were getting ready to get fired off.
Oh, they were already on.
Oh my,
Oh, come on, that was
man.
That was brutal. I even
I've
rolled
sent him
a
some
one on the
inspiration.
guidance die. This is
Man.
fake news.
Linder, that's horrible.
I'll send him some inspiration.
Oh, Linder's gonna give him the Skittles again, Folan. Looks like he needs to re-roll that. Can he beat a 13?
Gee, I sure hope so.
There
There
you
we
go, Linder. Now you basically turn again, and you cough, you smell your breath, and you turn around and you give her the 1-2 charm, and she goes, "I like your
The wiggly
style."
eyebrow.
Yes, the wink. It's the wink in your portrait. See, that's you're working it there, Linder. See, and she will. You see the flush of the alcohol beginning to take effect on her a little bit, and you get a little sweat, in your palms. It's it's working here. There is a chemistry, Linder. And she goes, well, it just so happens. Yes, maybe we can. There is a young griffin that we call Bone Snapper. Apropos, don't you think? It's being trained to serve as a mount in the cavalry. And the griffin and the trainer, will be outside actually 2 days from now at the river gate, shortly after dawn for a training session. And that would be the best place that we possibly could see if you and one of your companions here can gain the trust of the griffin, because if you don't gain the trust, you can just forget it. You won't be able to ever ride the griffin. But they will be down there outside the gate 2 days from now, to prepare for some training. Normally they're at the Peak Top Air, which is on the top of Mount Waterdeep, but civilians are not allowed there. You must be a member of the cavalry to even enter the compound. So we know we can't go there. So Linder, yes, I think maybe you and I should retire to chat about this more in private, don't you think, Linder?
Most definitely.
Dear God, what is going on?
Multiple dates going on here.
And so she forcefully grabs.
I would say that hookups are not dates.
Yeah, this is,
Says
so
you.
your two companions, the city guard, are over there snickering, and they're just keeping their faces in their mugs, and they're choking down, as this is going on, and they give you some winks, and Linder, you will hear as you begin to escort her. She's really escorting you. Your feet might not actually be touching the ground, as you're pointing to the direction that you need to go, and you will hear the guard say to Folan and them, he'll need a healing potion when she's done with him, just so you know.
So I nudge one of them and say, Quetzal over there is looking for a date.
What is this date?
Oh, well. So, yes. So 2 days from now in the dawn will be an ability to meet the griffin and his trainer. And you will be able to see what the possibilities are to can actually coax a griffin to ride with the trainer to do this search.
Do I roll an acrobatics check now to see how that went, or
the date? Oh, we're going to give it some time. We need to let it percolate. It's got to stew. Okay. It's not something unless you're a quickie, unless you just,
No.
Okay.
No.
I'm just asking you for your prowess.
Trying to figure out the check for it. I'm just trying to figure out the check for it.
You'll get some in a little bit in the tower. Trust me. Okay. This is in private. Okay. So, we've spun out of control. We've spun out of control. Do we have any viewers? So, God help us. Oh, we do. There's a couple. Oh no. Okay. So that's going to take place now. While that's going on, there's been no sign of the dwarf yet. You know that, and you're thinking of it and chatting and talking, and the guards will, is after Linder's carted away. But Folan, the chatting goes on, and that's probably a good plan, because when you think about it and kind of map out, it's a flyby should only take a couple of hours. With the way the griffin can move in and around over multiple days to do the walking. Okay. And so, we've got 2 days to go by before that happens. So do we fast forward, or is there anything, so Linder, you can roll me. You need a con check, buddy.
I need a con check.
Beat you up, man.
Not some
Animal
kind of
handling,
dexterity check.
maybe. Medicine
Oh,
check
man.
on yourself. You know what? You need a performance check. That's what it is.
Gotcha.
Performance, yes.
A performance check.
Just so you know, my son is in.
He is no. We haven't gone anywhere yet. Okay.
It's okay. All right.
I'd like
Performance check in the
I'd like a
tower, then.
performance check, please. With
In the
no
tower, you said?
Skittles, because you're out of Skittles right now. Oh, Linder, yes, you have got a few bruises. You walk a little gingerly. The next day, yes, you will. It was a raunchous night in the tavern. A great night, even with the hoots and hollers that were heard, and that couple of yelps that came up from above in the floors above the tavern, even over the din of all the people below. It was a great show you put on, Linder, and you now have someone that looks with you, yes, with a little extra respect. Yeah, Order of the Gauntlet, so to speak. You ran the gauntlet quite well.
Hey.
Okay, all right. Now, anything else y'all want to ask or do, or I'm just not trying to
Skip time.
skip time. Okay. Second, I need to check something.
So Shadow will check into that other item on his hours outside of the normal group.
Yep. Okay. Let's move along. Alrighty. So you guys will make your way to the River Gate, which is East Gate. Roll. Trainer outside the river. Whoa, what's going on now? Who's getting me? 20 sides. Y'all just missed some debauchery in the Whispering Inn. But where is I wonder if they meant the River Street, which is the East Gate, which is down far east. I guess because that's River Street. Wonder if that's what they meant by that, because there isn't a... Thanks, Winston. You burn it down. 20 sides. Good to see you. Thanks for the follow, Jakers McBob. Yeah, and Alex, I put the hopefully the guys that got signed up for a couple of the games, I think they did for Gary Con. I'm running one Friday night. The first one I'm running is the Foire from 8 to midnight. Oh, thanks, Winston. I thought you were already following, man. The Empire of Ashland from Total Party Kill Games. We're going to be running that one Friday night. I know Chuck's running a couple and several other DMs, but I know, man, Winston, you should be following. But we got to have a bunch of stuff going on every day. Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday morning I'm going to be running one too. I hope before I have to hop on a flight and get back home. But tons of stuff. But I think it's all in the Galewood A ballroom. If you look on tabletop, you can see all the events that we'll be handling there, plus some of the other live stuff we'll be helping out with. Should be a good time. Yeah, joke. He's unfollowing. Yeah, probably. Okay, so y'all will make your way down there. So who is going? So Linder, it might have taken you a couple of days to recuperate. You think that you're the one that should be trying to ride Bone Snapper? Who?
Oh, I've got If anybody's got better wisdom, they should definitely try it.
Well, I'm a druid and wisdom is my bag, so I mean, I'm not proficient in animal handling, but I do have a +4.
Yeah, that's a lot
I'm
better
second
than mine.
best.
Yeah, so you have to gain the trust of the griffin, and the trainer will tell you. Thanks, guys, for the follows, Casey, Belakai, and Winston. You should always be following. Bad boy. We are, like I said, we are in Waterdeep Dragon Heist. I think you've already done some of that, hadn't you, Alex? Because I know you're doing Mad Mage now. The follow. Choo choo. But yeah, so you get one shot at a check. Eric, you've been missing out, man. You've been missing out the debauchery. I'm disappointed. We'll have to go back to see what's been happening here. Some quiet rolls in the tower. I was asking you to be here, but you weren't here, so it was no good. But who would like to? And it's an animal handling check, gentlemen.
I can't do it till next level.
So since that didn't work, I will cast Animal Friendship.
Will that work on a griffin? Let me see.
Yes.
Okay. Wisdom saving throw or be charmed. Okay, so here comes. I need to beat a. What's your DC?
It is a 14.
14 wisdom save. Here we go. No, Winston. Lost Mines is Friday night. Waterdeep is Tuesday nights because this group's going to do Waterdeep and then they will transition right on into Mad Mage. Here we go. He fails. Wow, this is actually the Bone Snapper. So Bone Snapper is
24-hour charm.
charmed by you, Folan, and it's I'm going to ask to do a stealth roll, please. Would you, Folan?
Sure.
Okay. Probably the trainer might have looked with disdain on that had he noticed what you were doing. And so the Griffin, yeah, for a brief moment, yeah, resist, and then you just kind of throw that spell out there a little under the table, and his demeanor changes. Good bit to bow before you and looks like with the trainer someone can actually it would be you, Folan. It's going to be you're the one who cast it. Can hop up on this beast and fly around, launch into the air.
I'll take the wand and am I flying with the trainer or just?
Oh yes, yes.
Okay. So yeah, I will hop up behind him and with the wand and fly.
And we have a map. So, what would you like? How would you like to proceed?
Well, we got to hit up by the tavern, so I want to go up there and fly that area first, and just I guess check the whole north, and then work.
And then work which way?
So check out the north area, starting by the tavern, and go in the whole north ward, then go toward the west side of I don't know what the west side is called.
Well,
And
you
then
go
work
through the north ward, and then you're going to. Well, actually, here I will show you what that will be on the map. That will show you.
Oh, geez, this thing is huge.
Yeah, they're big maps. Sorry, I should have warned you that they fairly good size, but this will show you how the wards are laid out in Waterdeep. And So the North Ward, you've got the Field Ward up completely north, the Sea Ward, Castle Ward, Dock Ward, you've got them all. So you can do basically what you might want to do is a counterclockwise maneuver.
Yeah, we'll just spiral. I mean, he's driving, so just go up there and
Yep.
start to
All
wind
right.
up and fly around until
You're going to fly around, yes, and you fairly making the maneuvers, you will get a ping in the North Ward. And it's actually not that far from y'all's place. There is a villa, fairly good sized one, that is, let me see.
kind of the baby's awake screaming, so I gotta go deal with her. I'll be right.
Go do that. We'll wait for a second. Remember and the north isn't. We're going to put the villa. Second, folks. I'm looking. Maps. I love the guy fixed this maps for these pins for this Waterdeep deal because it really makes a huge. We are going to be, I know what you're asking. We are going to be in the autumn phase. I've been toying with autumn and winter, just so you know. I know why you ask. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so we'll wait for him a second. He's going to get a beep. In the, I like the way those two play. You know what I'm asking about, Zombie Joe. Tweaking a little bit how those two interact with each other, if you know what I mean. The possibilities are in this. Plus, I think this whole module is pretty cool. I got the extra add-ons, which we're using these maps for all the extra Waterdeep options and the Troll Skull Manor options for all these extra, the job boards posting that they can get, all these extra tasks that they've played around with and how to run the tavern and these extra it's just, this is a module I'm glad that they came out with it and the openness of it to really go any direction you want. And that way we're at episode 7 and they're just now, like I said, the fireball just went off and they're in the middle of investigating that. And that's, 7 sessions have gone by to get to that point, having fun with it. And just now, 3rd level.
Yeah, back again.
Okay, so you're going to get, yes, there is going to be a beep just to the west of, there is a fairly nice sized villa out right on the same street, Ceradone Street where y'all are at. So let me come to y'all's, show y'all your map again. But we have got a fairly good sized villa. We're going to put it over in the far northwest corner. It's on the same street, but just off. You get a ping over there. And this is a pretty big villa.
Which map are you on?
I'm okay. Sorry. Here, let me go back. I'm back on. Yeah, which map I'm on. That's true. So I'm going to show you where the inn is at. We're going to say it's this building somewhere. Damn it. Do it here because I'm doing it on the player map. I need to do it on my map. I'm going to say it's this. Not that far off from y'all, but there is a fairly good sized villa that's on y'all's street. And you will fly over it and you will get a ping in there.
I still don't know which map you're on.
I sent you to Brian. Here, there's a knock. I thought
Is it the Waterdeep locations, all locations?
I sent you back to this Troll Skull Alley. Y'all's map were the streets and the numbered of the houses and all that. The white and black, the black and white one. Probably got it on you probably got it open underneath one of your other maps. Just for right now, just know that you're just a few blocks away from y'all's place, you get a ping. Okay?
Gotcha. Okay.
All right. Do you continue searching?
Um, um, that was pretty close to where I got the ping last.
Hmm?
Isn't that fairly close to where? Because when I would walk around the other day, you said I'd got a ping. Is that
You got a
pretty
ping,
close to?
but you lost it. Yeah, you're in that area, and you, like I said, you got a ping, but it didn't. You in this area, you're closer in now, so it may have been going the other direction. You don't know.
All right. Let's keep searching and see if we
Okay.
find anything.
All right, so you're going to keep searching, and you're going to you fly through the rest of the field ward and the sea ward, and you will get a ping over the temple, and that's pretty much solidifies that this thing's working because you know that there is a nimble white in the temple, and you fly right over it, and bing bing bing, and the contraption is just going crazy. And so then you proceed on and you go down through the castle ward area and you move on toward the dock ward, and you get into the harbor area, and there are three on one pier all by themselves. And it's kind of strange to see this. There are 3 ships that are fairly good sized ones that are there, and you get multiple pings, ping ping, a couple of pings coming out of the ships, and you couple a little bit more flying around, and there's on the ships is some pinging, and then you come back around, go back up the south ward, the trade ward, and you don't get any more pings.
Okay, so the docks, there was a couple at the ships. You said
the dock wards,
actually,
actually a little bit farther out in the dock wards itself. On one of the docks, normally you've got ships moored everywhere, but this one dock has only got these 3 ships and no others seem to be anywhere near it. But all the rest of the docks are full or empty. But there's 3 pretty good sized ships. I've got it, and then you've got one over the temple, and then you've got one over the villa.
Okay. All right. We'll go back then and get the others and let them know.
So you will fly back and land, and yes, you were definitely, enjoyed the ride. The trainer, is not bad. You held your own. They're pretty good, and they will. Bone Snapper, still charmed by that. Charm lasts a full day, doesn't it? Right?
Yeah, it's 24 hours.
Yeah. Well, Bone Snapper doesn't know any better at the moment, and he will, and Sabra will give Linder a wink. And is there anything, so is that, that's basically all you asked for, right, Linder? And they land.
Yep.
I thank the rider profusely for his aid.
Sure, you can, Quetzal. Yeah, so Quetzal's actually motioning to try to walk up to the griffin.
Oof. Press
Yeah,
F to
animal
pay
creatures
respects.
spell in there.
Quetzal, the poor damn guy can't see in the dark. He is a lizard, can't handle his. You are just a mess. Oh man. The griffin growls at you, Quetzal. You're not getting any love from the griffin. Did you want to still continue to try to pet it, or did you want to risk losing a limb?
No, if it growls, I'll back away.
I don't think the lizards get any love. Hate to say it. So, all right. That being said, Folan will, y'all will finish you took you a couple hours, so it's lunchtime. Y'all are famished.
Let's head back to our place and eat. And I think we could go over and see if we can find that one that's up.
Makes sense.
So y'all will head back and will beginning something to eat. And while you're discussing and Folan basically I will assume you're going to reveal your Pintaro, thank you for the follow. We appreciate it. Welcome to the Rejects with everybody else in the middle of Waterdeep Dragon Heist.
Yeah, so as soon as I landed, I told everybody what.
So y'all are chatting and figuring this out, and in through the door will walk Rainier, Neverember, who was the gentleman that y'all rescued from the hideout and with Floon. The mix-up and all that. Yeah. And he is in the area, and he just knew that, from chatting with Floon that, you all have been seeing some, business has been good, and he, was a little out of sorts, with all the happenings that had gone on that night, and he'd been meaning to make his way up here sooner, but things have just been, turning, he's been tied up again, so to speak, but not, literally this time. And he wanted to come in to, check the place out, and also gratitude that, has behooved someone, that he should know his place a little bit better. Is, even though, like you said, you remember him and his dad, have been out of sorts for quite a while, but he still tries to carry himself properly, even though him and his family, don't get along. And he, says, was hoping that Floon could make it here, but he wasn't able to. Him and Volo are busy out doing something. And he's, he says, it was kind of strange. I was coming out, I was checking the place out, and it smelled like, I saw some, was there a fire here recently? Cause I got the whiff of a little burnt smoke, and I saw some burnt wood and some, there's still some trash out on the street and stuff like that. But he says, did someone lose a building here recently?
There was an explosion across the street.
What? What do you mean?
Yeah, somebody dropped a fireball in there.
Yeah, a bunch of people killed. There were some Zents. Few Zents got killed, and half elves and some humans, and a gnome and some halflings.
Wait. Hold on. A gnome, you say, and some Zents and Tarums were killed?
Yeah, right up in the street. Yeah.
Can't believe this isn't making citywide news.
No, this place is you can't count on that, somebody. I haven't had a chance to really. When the Lords of Waterdeep ousted my father, and the dealings with stuff, and how Praetor got involved with things, I thought maybe his dark shadow over me was gone for good. But the truth is, I want nothing to do with my father. But his spies hounded me relentlessly. One of them was a gnome named Dalakar, who had been watching me for several months. But it wasn't not 2 weeks ago, Dalakar was nowhere to be seen again. I thought maybe I'd, eluded him. But he was, I knew that him and my father were very close, and my father trusted him like no one else. That is interesting, because if it was Dalakar, I wonder. And he ponders for a second. He said, I spoke with a few of his friends just the other day, and he was on a special mission to retrieve the Stone of Galore. And he stops and he looks around and is there any there are we alone? And he waits to look to see, that nobody else is really there, because y'all are kind of, maybe, I don't know if you're really open for business or not, but it's kind of you're off for a little slow day. And he waits and he goes, my understanding is that Dalakar was on a special mission to retrieve what was called the Stone of Galore, and apparently was afraid that the Zents and Xanathar were close to catching him. And when he heard about my kidnapping, he wanted more information about those adventurers who rescued me. And I wonder if Dalakar was on his way to pay you, if he actually found the Stone of Galore. He would have stolen it, my understanding is that the stone was in Xanathar's possession. And this stone has the way of finding that which is lost, my understanding.
Crap, I missed it.
All right, so he is basically he is telling you that when you bring up the gnome and the two Zents, that him and his father, have been on the outs for a while, and his father kept spies on him for some, and one of those spies was a gnome by the name of Dalakar.
I caught that part.
Okay, well, 2 weeks ago, Dalakar disappeared. And
was that about the time of the fireball stuff?
Yes, it was. And when he spoke to a few of Dalakar's friends, knowing that the relationship between the gnome and his father, that Dalakar was on a special mission to steal the Stone of Galore, which is able to find that which is lost. And it was in Xanathar's possession. And the Zents and the Xanathar have been warring at each other and in search of something. And he's thinking that Dalakar was successful in this theft, and that he knows that also Dalakar asked a few people about the adventurers who rescued Rainier. And he's wondering if Dalakar is the gnome that you discovered out in the street, and if he was coming toward y'all with information, or if he possibly had something on him like the Stone of Galore.
The investigators said that he was coming to the tavern, and one of our neighbors said she spied one of the people in the fireball survived, took something off the dead gnome and fled.
Tell me more.
That's it. He fled down the alley. We couldn't find a trail, so that's all we know so far. And we telling about the automaton.
And well, now that doesn't make sense. I would hold tight for a moment. That is interesting news. I'm wondering, if it's strange that I wonder if the city watch and the guards did any, what if they found it? Have you know anything more about their investigation or heard anything what they know by chance?
They had hired a cleric, and they were supposed to be doing the Speak with Dead, but we haven't followed up.
I would, before you do anything else, see if there's a way or possibilities to find out what they may have discovered in that. Let me loop back around to Dalakar's friends and a couple of other constables that I know and see what I can find out. I will come back tomorrow and meet you back here and let me see. Yes, give me a day before you do anything else. Just hold tight. I will be back tomorrow, and he will dismiss himself with a sense of urgency and leave you.
Okay, I guess we can use the time to follow up with the constable and the mage and find out what they learned from the speak with dead or try.
And how
I
would
think
you?
that's specifically what he wanted us to wait on.
No, he said. Thanks for the follow, Zombie Joe. He said if you have some time to see if there's a way if you can find out what they knew.
Okay.
Yeah, but don't do anything else.
Yeah, he was wanting us to hold off on trying to follow the nimble right or.
I don't even think you told him that. I think yeah. So I mean,
Yeah,
unless
so
you
I told him
did.
about the automaton.
Okay. All right. Well, he says hold off on making any other bold moves on that in case there are spies about watching, and if they know where this creature is at, if you think just hold off. But you've got to figure out how are you going to discern what was discovered, if anything, with the priest.
I'll just say we go back to the constable and the mage and ask, see if they'll.
They
Yeah.
all head back over there, and
When we get there, I'm going to give Linder guidance and assist him in his persuasion.
Linder, I don't think you're going to be able to saddle up next to this guy. I'm just saying. I don't know if your
No.
charms will work on him. But yeah, Sergeant Cromley will be there, and he recognized you. And
That's why I suggested persuasion and not seduction.
yeah.
Well, they're the same role.
He will ask, yes. So, I don't think you actually were you. So, Folan, when you were there, were y'all all there? Or was it just Folan? Were you there? Were y'all all in the building with him when y'all went up there? I can't even remember. Or were y'all all?
No.
Okay.
Yep, we
What-
were all there.
Brings you back to my office this day, good elf.
Well, we were wondering if you had had an opportunity to speak with the deceased.
Why? What means or purpose would you need to know that information for? This is a City Watch matter, not for the general public. I do appreciate the information and the evidence that you have brought to us, but any outside influence would just be confounding the situation in the equation to all this. What possibly? You must trust in the Watch, believe me.
Well, we
Why
have
would I
been
want
of
to
so
divulge
much
that
assistance.
information?
We've been of so much assistance so far. Who's to say we wouldn't be of more?
Such may it be. I am not inclined to reveal more of the investigation until we have further proof and evidence. And more outside influence typically inhibits and prohibits that investigation. Does more damage than good.
The history does not predict the future.
Like I said, we may have discerned information, we may not. But we are not prepared yet to make any arrests and moves unless you have something else to add to the equation. If you
I don't
have
know where to go
something
from
more to bring, then I will listen to you. Even though Vincent does speak highly of you and understanding, and he's speaking of, the private eye, but this leave the investigation to the professionals, good sir.
Well, excuse me.
You are excused. Good day.
Didn't even get a chance to roll.
He gave you an in. You just got to figure out how to use it. Heard it.
Mm-hmm.
Thwarted. Your boyish charms did not work on him, Linder.
Well, I never got to roll my boyish charms, did I?
He was not interested.
I just had to use my regular rolled charms.
Can I do? I'm gonna try to get a read on him and see if I can figure out what he was.
What he was doing? Say that again.
Never mind.
Never
Well,
mind.
no. Ask me anyway. Ask me. You were there listening to it. What did you want to try to figure out?
I was trying to get a read on, try to see, what we could do to convince him.
He wanted more information. What else do you have to add to the investigation? It is a scratch my back, scratch your back. Basically,
Well,
what you
I tried
decided.
to make him a little bit more friendly by pointing out that I am of military rank from a friendly nation.
That doesn't give me anything new to the investigation.
No, but I am familiar with such investigation.
Bring me more information to help out, and I might be apt. But until then, trust in the.
Well,
Actually, we did recently come into a new piece of information, and we're willing to share with you if you can share.
Well, like I said, let me know what it is, and we shall see.
I mean, you've made it clear that you don't really want our help, but then you say you want us to give you this information. I mean, it seems fair that if we get this seems like something you might be interested in, but I mean, we would really have a lot of interest in what the cleric said after the.
Well, I'm like I said, I am the professional. If you want to work with me, let me know what you have found, because it is a crime to withhold information and evidence from the City Watch. It is an imprisonment terms. So I, suggest that you let me know what you have found, and if it corresponds or adds to the investigation, then I might be able to. We might have some working mechanism to put in place.
what was supposedly the gnome's name again, according to Rainier?
Dalakar.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if the gnome's name was Dalakar, then we know what he was looking for.
You make me an insight check. You say Dalakar's name, and you will see his eyebrow raise up.
So you do know.
The name is familiar. What more do you know about this gnome?
We know he was out looking for the stone of what was that thing called again?
It's called the Stone of Galore. Keep going.
Yes.
And basically the sergeant says this. Yes, the Stone of Galore.
And he was a spy for Lord Never.
Yes, he was. And my understanding is that he was able to steal this supposedly Stone of Galore from the lair of the beholder known as Xanathar, deep below the city here.
If it wasn't on his person, then it was stolen by the survivor who fled down the alley towards the bent nail?
Well,
Just in that direction, not necessarily into it.
that is a possibility.
We also heard that this gnome was asking questions about us and was heading towards our town.
Your information is correct, Sir Elf. group of adventurers he was looking for rescued his son from the Zentarum a few weeks. Yeah, it's been actually a month or so, wasn't it? Yeah, we've gone several weeks for the rolling. Yeah. So, yes, and Dalakar's corpse in the questioning believed that this stone of galore would have been safe in your hands, and he was on his way to deliver this stone for you to hold on to so that he may elude the pursuers and then come back and reclaim it from you. And then all hell broke loose, and we believe that is when the fireball went off and killed him. That was the last of his memories. But he was in a possession of the stone.
So that means it's in Tarum now.
What do you know about the Zentarum?
Very little, except that they fight with Xenothar's gang.
But there is a fight between the two over some treasure that would make them as rich as kings. They believe that that the stone of galore will help them in finding. At least that's what these two dead Zentarum believed. Yes, they were chasing him with a third companion by the name of Erstal Floxen. And we believe it is Erstal that is the one that survived the blast. And
do you know of any Zentarum safe houses or agents that are
this
up
is
in our
just
neighborhood?
yes. So the Zentarum worked for this Floxen, who resided in the Gralhund Villa, and that is the name of the villa that you got the beep off of. Gralhund Villa. They originated
Really?
from
Okay.
there.
So I tell him about we went to the temple and we talked to the priestess who talked to the construct,
Yep.
who gave us the device, and we tracked it back to that same villa, and we were getting hits from there.
Well, that may be the case, but the problem is that we have constables that spoke to the Lord, and there is no problems being reported, that no one has broken into his estate, and that everything was fine there. And unfortunately, that is as far as we were able to go with that, because the constables have no grounds for a search warrant, so they were not able to pursue the matter anymore. They are being told that everything is fine there, and the Lord and his wife, are nobles in the city, and we must take them at their word.
And you say they are known associates of the Zentarum?
Oh, I don't know that. No. Never said that, but we did interview them, the constables, at least the notes I have, that they were interviewed, and nothing was reported ill or any trouble in the villa at all.
So the question was not asked to Zentarum where they would take the stone if they.
They were only no. Their job from Floxen was to catch the gnome, a gnome named Dalakar. That's all they knew.
So these guys did report to the same guy, Flock.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, if I didn't say that, the three the three of them were chasing, and those two that died were employed by Floxen, who apparently resided in the villa, and all that they know was that their job was, their employment from at the time, that time of that day, was to catch the gnome. That's all they were there for, was to apprehend him. They weren't told what, though. And the Other than, yeah, actually they were told. I'm sorry, they were told that the gnome had something on them that Floxen wanted, and that was it. And the constables went and interrogated the lord at the villa, and he had nothing to report. So the constables weren't able to do anything else. Dun, dun, dun.
All right, thank you very much. It seems like you got everything well in hand here. We'll let you know if we find.
Okay.
And very carefully, do not hint that we're going to raid this place and find those.
You think? Alrighty. We will hold there. Dun, dun, dun.
I think it's very funny that innocent until proven guilty only works in this city if you're a lord.
Yeah, and but they do have search warrants here.
They do have search warrants, but you're not a noble.
And yet a business can be shut down on the word of a competitor. Makes sense.
Cry me a river. Cry,
Hey, I'm
cry.
still sore about it. Get at me.
He is. He did not like being not given a chance. It's the way of Waterdeep. All right, gentlemen. Unfortunately, we didn't have Candace with us tonight. We will hold here. We will be off next Tuesday, so enjoy your day off. You have ideas y'all can work together or figure out, you've got a couple of you got still a few clues. You've got the compound, you got you got the beeps on the radar.
We got the beeps, the sweeps, and the creeps.
Yep, and you've got a dwarf that apparently needs to make his way back from. He's been on a very long date. Eric, is ETU playing tomorrow night? I believe they are. We will be off. I don't have the guys this Thursday night. I'm probably going to run the session Friday night. I just need to fill that day. I've got to get stuff finalized for Gary Con, and next week we will probably. Okay, so we are playing tomorrow night. Good. So we will be back tomorrow night. Dean Dersham and the crew of East Texas University, 7:00 tomorrow night. Savage Worlds. We will be off Thursday night. I will probably run Lost Mines on Friday. And we did not play last night for Deadlands, so I will play and run that, and then that will be it. And for the rest of the week, we will run some streams. I'm recording some stuff I'll post often on Twitter and on the channel while we're at Gary Con, and all the stuff that we're going to be involved with out there, and hopefully a couple other announcements. We're waiting on some stuff to come through. And then after Gary Con, we'll be back on another regular schedule again. So guys, job well done. If you've got any questions or other things that you want to kind of plan out, either the compound or other things that are going on, or the faction stuff, if you're interested in that, we can role play that off in Discord, on private messages, whatever y'all want to do. But put that together, and then we'll be ready to go and plan your raid on the Grolhund or Gralhund Ville next 2 weeks from tonight. All right.
Most excellent.
Thanks, everybody.
All right, good job. All right, folks, we're out of here. Like I said, we'll be back tomorrow night. The crew of ETU and Dean Dersham, and come watch. They are having a blast playing that scenario. They've even got their own RP channel on the Discord server if you want to hop in there. They are role-playing their characters while they are off camera and having a blast with it. This group really is enjoying playing the game together, and it shows, and they are having some fun with it. So come check that out. We'll see everybody tomorrow night. Hopefully, take care. Thanks for watching.
Thanks all.